Hey guys, it's Brennan here. I wanted to start this channel to kind of help people deal with depressive disorders, anxiety, panic disorders. I myself am currently going through it, and it's pretty severe. I'm not in the greatest shape right now mentally. I'm working on it. I'm doing a lot of meditation, a lot of prayer. I'm going to a psychiatrist. They got me on medication. It's just there's a lot of stress on me in my life right now. It's not nothing is really coming easy, but there's always somebody out there that's much worse off. So don't get me wrong, I'm not sitting here trying to say, hey, I had this horrible life. I am blessed. It's just I have an unfortunate condition that I'm having a hard time to control right now, and hopefully throughout these videos I can actually give you a first-hand experience. 'Cause I know you can go to a psychiatrist, and I'm not a psychiatrist. They can help you. They can tell you all this stuff. They can give you the medications. But now, have they went through it themselves? Probably not. Most of them probably, they're stressed out in school, but a lot of people are just not going to understand. They're not going to understand when, you know, you have all these thoughts racing through your head, and they're just like, oh, you just need to relax. But when you can't, it's hard. I understand that. I get it every single day. People tell me, oh, dude, you should just relax. There's nothing wrong with you. And I might know that. In my head, I've been to the ER several times. It's embarrassing. But, it's not something that you can just push out. It just kind of overwhelms you, and it takes control of you. And it's difficult. It's very difficult. I'm going to school right now for, I'm going to start for Christian studies here in March. I want to be a youth minister and a pastor someday. I want to preach. I want to help people. And I'm going to incorporate a lot of the Bible into my videos. I'm not saying, hey, you have to believe in Christ. I hope you do. And if you have questions for me, hopefully I can help answer them. Hopefully I can help lead you to Christ, if that's what you want. If not, I'm going to, use other techniques. I'm going to talk about the meditation that I use that works for me personally in my growth, in my journey. And, I'm going to tell you when things don't work. Because things aren't always going to work. I can tell you that. You can try everything in the world, and it's not going to work. And I know a lot of people will say that, the biggest thing for me is prayer. A lot of people are going to say, hey, prayer doesn't work. Well, you got to give it time. Beg God. Beg Him. Just talk to Him. But you also can't just pray and pray and pray and then just hope that He's going to fix it. You actually have to sit there and listen as well. You have to take the time out of your day to just sit and let your mind be quiet. Listen. And he will speak. A lot of times it's going to be in thoughts. That's for me. And call me crazy, say what you want. I've had experiences to where I firmly believe in God. I had my doubts. I've always been a Christian, but everybody's going to have your doubts. God lives in the uncertainty. That's just the reality we live in. We can't understand His knowledge. So He lives in that uncertainty, so you just got to have faith. But on another note, back to the anxiety. So let me tell you a little bit about my story of how I got started. I grew up, I had a great life. I played sports. I would say that, I wouldn't say I was under an immense amount of pressure as a kid. I would say I did practice a lot. I think the most pressure I had was custody battles with my parents. There's a little bit of pitting in between them. Neither one of them would probably want to admit it, but there was some pitting in between parties. One side a little bit more than the other, but they're my parents. I love them to death. It's just hey, they love me. They want me around. I understand that. So you go through that. Psychiatrist thinks that has a lot to do with it. Personally, I don't. But apparently this stuff's hereditary. So a couple years back, I was in school. I was having some stomach issues. I went to the nurse practitioner at my college. They prescribed me a high dose of setraline. So this is the part where I know earlier, I believe I touched on, don't be afraid of the medications. I know a lot of people are going to tell you, hey, medications, don't do them. They're trying to, I was one of those people. I thought that, they're just trying to hurt you. Maybe, but I can tell you right now that mine's helping me now. But the doctor put me on a high dose of setraline. And when I tell you I took it and then I went to class, I took it that night before I went to bed and I went to class the next day. I was sitting in class, my body felt like it was actually burning. I felt like it's almost like I could taste in my mouth my flesh burning. And, my blood pressure jumped up. I think it was like 160 over 110-ish. I jumped up, ran out of class, went straight to the nurse practitioner and was like, hey, man, what's going on? Something's not right. This ain't... He couldn't explain, it's just a side effect of the medicine. But, at that point, it scared me. I'm like, look, I'm just not going to take any more of this. I've never had these issues. So I left him alone. And unfortunately, what happened was, I guess with it running in my family and being genetics, I continued having panic attacks. A couple weeks later, I was driving home, had a perfect day at work, was talking to my girlfriend, laughing, and next thing I know, bam, my body just goes to burning, just absolute burning. And I go to my roommate, I'm like, look, man, I need to go to the hospital. Something's wrong, I need to go to the hospital. My blood pressure was 185 over 120 something, and it was bad. And at that point, I was scared enough, I called him, I was like, look, come get me. I couldn't go to class. I was having panic attacks. I medically withdrawed from school. I didn't know what was going on. You start thinking, hey, am I crazy? You're not crazy. You never know when these things are going to happen. So for 2 years, I have battled with on and off panic attacks. It hasn't been all the time. I always have worry. I always have anxiety because I never went and got help. I never took anything else. I didn't want to take medication, but I always had anxiety, and it was hard on me. The best thing I can say, though, is keep your mind busy. Do not let your mind sit there and wander. To me, is the worst thing I can do. The hardest part for me in life right now is driving. Driving in a car when you have nothing, but you have to focus on the road, but yet your mind has all this time to think. And the mind is just, it's fragile. It's not something that's easily overcome. It's a hard process. And, I definitely pray for everybody that has to go through this. I was one of those people back before it happened to me. It's just in your head. You just need to relax. But no, just if you have somebody around you that's going through this, you can't just tell them, hey, you need to relax, because it's not that simple. It's really not, trust me. It's not that simple. I've not always been this way. I used to be a very happy person. I played sports. I was always active. I wasn't this way, and up until about 4 weeks ago, maybe a little bit longer than that, is when I really started getting bad. And I had a horrible burning in my chest. I'm talking about my chest was on fire. I just knew I was having a heart attack. And that was, my panic attacks. That's my anxiety. It was telling me, hey, I'm having a heart attack. And my heart had been checked. But it didn't matter. I'm having a heart attack. No matter what doctors told me, I was having a heart attack. So, I get when you can't just listen to doctors and trust them, but you have to. But also through that, I watched a video of Elevation Church, and it was talking about anxiety. And a couple weeks before that, I'd had this, I was overcome with God. I felt like God was speaking to me, telling me, hey, I'd go out and, do my work, tell people, pretty much become a pastor. And I've had these urges and I've had these thoughts, and that's how God comes to you. He comes to you through thoughts. And I've had him telling me this for years, and, I bounced around from jobs, never able to find my passion because I just kind of ignored it because I'm like, well, man, why me? I haven't lived the best life. I haven't been the best Christian. Why me? But, when he calls to you. But that's besides the fact. But either way, he brought me bliss, and then it's and once I accepted that, I started having worse panic attacks. I really did. They say the devil comes at you and he roars at you like a lion. He's gonna scare you. He does not want you getting close to God. But if you trust in the Lord, which I'm having trouble doing myself, I'm not gonna lie, I'm having trouble trusting. If I could just trust Him 100% and say, hey, you know what, God, I trust you 100%, and I do trust Him. It's just hard for me to trust 100% because we're human. Our flesh is weak. So, I can't. It's hard for me. I'm working on that. I'm sure I wouldn't even need this medication, but I know He puts doctors here to help us. So, my best advice to anybody is just pray. If you're not religious, then keep your mind busy. But if you're religious, pray, meditate. There's I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head. I'll talk about it in my next video. There's a good meditation app for Christians, and go see a psychiatrist or a psychologist if you can. If not, ask me questions. I'll do my best to answer anything. I soak in everything my psychiatrist tells me. Now, whether I'm able to trust it or not, or whether you're able to trust me, that's gonna be the hardest part. It's not gonna be easy. Nothing about this process is gonna be easy. But this is me starting my process of getting better, and I'm gonna try to walk step by step as I grow, and help you grow with me. And if anybody else has any tips, I'm gonna welcome tips. I could do live videos if you want me to do live videos. If you have questions or topics, please let me know. Anything Christian based, anything about the Bible. If you have some questions for me, if you're on the fence, ask me the questions. If I don't know the answers, which I'm not going to know all the answers. I'm not going to know a lot of them. I have resources to where I can find the answers. I can search my Bible. I have a great pastor who has a doctorate in divinity that I can ask anything to. I go to him with any question I have, and if he don't know the answer, he can find it. So just please feel free to ask me. And I want to do at least a weekly upload, and hopefully we can get through everything together. I really feel like God's calling me to help people. And like I said, if you're not Christian, I completely understand that. I respect you. Hopefully, you can open up and possibly listen to me a little bit and just talk a little bit about faith. If not, that's okay too. Like I said, I just really want to help you. And I really want y'all to help me in the process. It's definitely going to be, I feel like it'd have to be a group effort. But, that's going to be all for my first video. Just, like I said, please leave comments. Feel free to message me. Anything you want to know, anything you can say to help, just leave right there in the comment section. Hope you like this video and subscribe to me. And hopefully this journey ends with a good note.